Welcome back to Match My Smoke. I'm the host with the quotes, JB the Oracle, and we have two really great guests today. I got a chance this year to go to the Flower Expo, and we have the founder and creator of Flower Expo, as well as one of the head senior marketing execs over at Flower Expo, Jason Bello and Kai Brady. Let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah. Thanks for
Yes.
having us.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for matching our smoke. Now, I thought it was very crucial to get you guys on the show. I had a conversation with Jason early in the week, got a chance to know him a lot more, got a chance to learn about, Flower Expo. But for the people who just never heard of it, don't know what Flower Expo is, could you tell the people what Flower Expo is?
Yeah, Flower Expo has been around since 2023. It's the premier B2B cannabis trade show. We focus on connecting brands and buyers. So the top cannabis companies in the state, people who cultivate or manufacture anything from, flower to vapes to edibles to beverages, concentrates, etc. And we get them in front of their buyers. So, we get them in front of dispensary owners, GMs, and typically we do a second day where we put them in front of the bud tenders, the people who are pushing the product every day at stores. So I would say we want to streamline the way cannabis companies are doing business and give them a very cost-effective platform to meet with potential clients.
Now, did you come from another side of the industry before this, and then that was kind of springboarded you into this, or how was the whole conception and passion about this move in the Flower Expo?
Yeah, Kai and I both prior to this were at Source Cannabis in Los Angeles, which was a about 40,000 square foot grow in the downtown LA area. We operated two dispensaries at one point. Our primary mission was to grow organic flower. We did it in living soil, a lot of exotics, a lot of, I would say, a lot of like street strains. That was kind of the focus. But really, for Kai and I think it was an invaluable experience that helped us understand actually pushing product and selling ourselves, seeing like what marketing does well, what, really just how the industry works. And I think we brought a lot of what we learned over to the show in the model of the event. And I think a lot of it was trying to create a solution to the problems that we were finding selling product ourselves.
Well, so you and Kai go way back a little bit. How long have you guys been, teaming up to make stuff happen?
What year?
It was,
23?
I guess the source was 2022,
22.
and then this was started in 2023. So yeah, it would be 2022 that we've known each other since. Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
for some of you who aren't familiar with the show, we'll drop off some B-roll here of some footage that we took when we last attended. But when we're talking Flower Expo, we're not talking about a little show. We're not talking about a little 60-person or 50-person meet and greet. We're talking about hundreds of people's line down the street. Was that the vision starting it out, and what's been some of the Achilles heels maintaining it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we do a big show uh, in many regards, and I'd also say we do a small show in many regards, and that's because everybody there is highly vetted, highly qualified decision makers. You're not seeing the general public. It's not like a secret sesh or anything like that. Like I said, it's all about getting as many of the licensees in the room as possible, buyers and sellers. I would say that we do a phenomenal job and consistently bring out. I think every single show we've done has probably brought out over 70% of dispensaries in the given state, in the given market. As far as Achilles heels, I would say probably trying to get more booths. We're always aiming to get everybody in the market, but obviously it's a struggle on the brand side, and that's
Yeah.
because I think either maybe challenging times, whether it be in saturating markets, which we find it's different from every market we go to. Michigan's gotten hit particularly hard. I think Massachusetts is sort of hit an inflection point recently where you're seeing a lot of the price saturation, licensees closing down. Illinois, thankfully, is still sort of on the up and up, and they just limited new licenses being created, which I think helps a lot. But obviously having neighboring states coming online and just the general leveling out. I think once the supply side, cultivators and manufacturers hit like a certain amount of build out and canopy and stuff, you naturally see the prices drop once there's too much supply in the market.
Now that springboards me to my next question here, because Chicago is actually relatively new to the Flower Expo list, and you guys decided to do it twice this year in 1 year. What was the motivation behind coming to Chicago, and then what was the deal with coming twice back to back? Y'all like Drake with it right now.
We're inspired by MJ, man. We just have to keep running it back. No, I mean it was a phenomenal March show. I think that it was the first time we've ever done sort of a market test because we did a 1-day show. So we'd never tried that before, and it got so packed, and there were so many people that I think at the end of the day we were turning down brands to join the show because we ran out of room. So we decided to come back for a second show, and I think a lot of it too is I do want to emphasize we want to show the love to Illinois and really like a thank you for giving us support. So I feel like if anything, we've invested a ton of time and money into doing the second show, and that's through getting this new venue, which is really really nice. The Garrity is a beautiful space, and it wasn't cheap either. So
Yeah,
bet.
the other thing I'd add there too is just with it being a 2-day show this time. And just for anyone that's not familiar, we typically do like first day is heavily focused on retail buyer audience, and then day 2 is when the bud tenders can join in. And with 1 day, it was all mixed together. So I think it's going to be a great experience this time with the 2 days to have that separation, because there's a purpose to both, and brands want to be involved with both. But it's good to have it spread out a little bit instead of everyone packed in the same place. So I'm excited about that aspect for sure.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask, like, is there a difference in the days, or can each day you expect the same thing, just anticipating more people? So just explain, a little bit of the itinerary on each days for us.
Yeah, so it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Both days are going to be pretty similar as far as the programming and what goes on during each day, but I think day 1 it tends to have more of a productive focus vibe, where deals are being made and there's a heavy focus on that. Still everyone having a great time though. But yeah, that's where it's that really cultivated audience. Middle of the day we'll have some speaker panels that we call sessions. We'll be announcing details on those very shortly. And that'll be on both days. And then, yeah, day 2, same hours, but there'll probably be a bit more people because there'll be the majority of day 1, as well as bud tenders from all around Illinois attending. So that's pretty much what to expect, I would say.
Okay.
yeah,
You had
I
something
think
to add, Jason?
yeah, I mean I think that's something to really be excited about if you're an exhibitor or if you're a buyer coming through this time, because we definitely it was a bit of an oversight and a mistake on our end to do a 1-day show. I think you saw like the average time that a buyer or even a bud tender would stay at that event was very short. People did not want to stay the entire day. It got way too crowded. The line was way too
Yeah.
long. And then I think, if you're an exhibitor, you're trying to meet with as many buyers as you possibly can. And, they probably only got in front of so many. And actually, I heard overall great results. Like, it sounds like every exhibitor who did March really had a great time and got business done. But to have way more time to chill out and hang out with buyers and give them your products and let them sample it with you, and have that crucial conversation that leads to a purchase. I think that's going to be all the difference. And that's a lot more like what you see in our other shows. Like Massachusetts is the best example, just because it's our longest running show, probably our most successful show.
Okay.
And you see people hanging out all day and sitting in the lounge, smoking and having a great time. So I
What's
think
the
you'll see a
average?
lot more of that.
My bad, cutting you off. But what's the average amount of attendees, especially if they're Massachusetts?
Probably right around 2,000 people.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay. Okay.
The March show had maybe about in total about 1,800, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all packed into one day.
Yeah.
And then, do you get to make it out to all of these shows yourself?
Or
Mm-hmm.
You
I'm
say-
not sure we'd get set up without us.
And that's what I was gonna ask next. It takes I'm pretty sure a crazy team to get these shows to this magnitude going, and then you guys put a lot of emphasis on content. You're one of the shows that I see dropping a lot of content consistently. You reach out to a lot of other content partners. Tell us a little bit about the motivation behind that.
I guess I can speak to that. I mean, we always want to have a strong presence, content wise, just always be getting our name out there on social media, and also the cannabis media space is it's kind of its own thing, because there's so many rules you have to follow compared to other brands, and hoops to jump through. So we always want to help them out, take care of them as well, and also in turn giving more exposure to our exhibitors, and the products and things that they have at the show. And just wanting overall to have like a good, fun, modern sense of branding, just stay with the times and all of that. I'd say that's the main motivation. And then when it gets to be showtime, it kind of is all hands on deck. We all kind of are jacks of all trades in a sense, having multiple responsibilities, and kind of everything comes together into this great thing. So
Fantastic. Now, I'm not sure if this is just the Chicago leg of it, but I noticed that when you guys had the first event, that it was pretty much open for people to apply for press passes. You had Dab Cowgirl kind of on the forefront, and that's how I even got in tuned, actually. I met her at the event, and she told me, I need to apply and check you guys out. I met her face to face. And then, I see in this process, you guys moved over to a more selected media type. What was the motivation behind that, to getting a lot more selective with the media and things like that?
I mean, I'd say our overall application process is more or less the same. If anything's changed, it's maybe just been more of an emphasis on ensuring that we get some good content going, like that we build stronger partnerships, and just kind of, as this event grows, I think as would be true with anything, just it leads to being a little bit more selective. But overall, I'd still say we're very welcoming to anyone in the industry that's willing to help out and be a part of it, and contribute in a strong way. So yeah.
Now, what's been some of the things you guys have learned from doing the first show in Chicago that people should anticipate, and look forward to on this second one, besides a bigger space?
It's a good question. I think I do think the space has a lot to do with it. Just like with any event. I mean, not only being less crowded, but the different areas of the show, the food options, the different areas to chill out. Because a lot of our show is is definitely about traditional booth space, and that's ultimately, that's what we're selling, obviously, is to the brands that they rent exhibition space from us, but then having different areas for them to get those deals done, and share each other's company, try each other's products. That's definitely important.
Hmm.
uh and as show organizers, there definitely, there only is so much we can do. I would say it's creating the vibe and drawing the audience. That's really our two jobs. So having the separation of 2 days, uh and that's one thing. The vibe, the space being bigger, having curated areas, and then the other thing, drawing the audience. I mean, really, I would just say the the way we go above and beyond to invite them. We send Dab Cowgirl out, obviously. We offer them different incentives and perks. We're not hoping that they show up, and obviously we hope they want to show up, but we're not just sitting there sending out emails and letting it go up to chance. We're giving them incentives, we're talking to them, we're understanding their needs and their desires, and making sure at the end of the day that we can bring out the critical mass of them. And that's what makes the difference. Because I mean, to draw back to just selling cannabis, what Kai and I did before, it's a lot of cold calling, it's a lot of missed meetings, it's a lot of people not picking up the phone and blowing you off or whatever. And when you're in the business of selling cannabis, you're trying to continuously go after new leads and set up those meetings and everything like that. And it's also different if you're a big company. Maybe you can afford to take those risks or host your own events or do lots of different things. But if you're a small mom and pop or whatever, you might not be able to afford those kind of opportunities. I talk to a lot of businesses where the owner's driving to a store themselves with product in their trunk and doing the delivery themselves, and they're trying to pick up a new shop. So we want to make an equal opportunity event where it's a phenomenal vibe. You have everybody in the market there, and it's super cost effective for you to get in front of your potential buyers. And hopefully, if you get business done, you approach it the right way, you come back and do it again.
Man, y'all coming with the heat, and y'all look fairly young, man. How old are y'all? Y'all handling some big boy business here, but what's the ages on y'all?
We're like Benjamin Button. We're really old.
Nah, for real. No, this has been like, listening to the vision, listening to, what you guys are accomplishing, and then having this conversation after I've attended the event is a whole, it just hits different because, I'm seeing what you're trying to accomplish, but then my aspect is always what are the consumers thinking. I come from just talking from consumers. I want to ask the questions that most consumers are wondering. So what does the social outreach look like just all around? Because I seen when I attended, there was some panels. You had some social equity panels that was taking place there. So even more than the buying process, I see there's some workshops, workshop type setting, educational type thing. Will we see a lot more of that as well? And what does that look like moving forward? Is that bigger with more faces, more panel, more people we can look forward to actually that'll actually attend the events and educate people?
I'll uh I'll let Kai mostly answer it, but I just want to say that I think, in cannabis particularly as an industry, that type of stuff is imperative, and that just is because of the history of cannabis, the history of mass incarceration, the history of, the way that this plant has been pitted against minority groups. I go on and on and on about it, but I think that to create, like I said, creating an equitable event and an equal opportunity for everybody, it's definitely has to be part of it, has to be part of our structure, our plan, and our platform, what we're creating. But go ahead, Guy.
Yeah, no, and then as far as like the education and things like that goes, yeah, for those panels, it'll probably be a similar amount we're finalizing the details now as we speak. But yeah, I hope that keeps growing, and we get bigger and bigger voices. I know this year we're going to have one focused on women in cannabis, which we've had a lot of women speak before at our panels, but not one focused entirely on that. So that should be a good one, and a few more coming that will be announced in the coming days. Yeah, we've also done things going back to that social equity angle. Like we've done things for like booth programs for that and things like that. So we're always trying to stay in tune with those things and stay on top of all of that.
And then I was gonna ask here, trying to jot down some stuff because as you talking, you got me thinking about some other questions. But so with that said, will you have more opportunities just on the content aspect and people coming in? Like I went to some expos and things like that, especially on the West Coast, and they had opportunities where people had set up podcast booths with some content creators and things like that on top of the panels and stuff.
Um,
We tried a little bit of that in the past.
yeah, we've done some at some other events. I think this one, mainly just because it's a much bigger space, but it's not massive. So we currently don't have any direct media booths, but we've done that a few times in the past. We've had some podcasts get involved.
Okay.
It's definitely something we're trying to find like the best avenue to kind of implement that for sure. Um,
And then on the media side, how does one person come up there and get some of their uh, logos and stuff, or wanted to partner with you guys? Just for anybody listening, because when I came there, there was a lot of local media people there. So just for anybody who want to ask about that.
Yeah, I'd say it all kind of starts with just we talk to everyone individually and get to know them and what the potential partnership would look like. So it's kind of all on a case by case basis. But any media out there, just go to theflowerexpo.com/media, fill out an application, and we'll reach out, get the ball rolling, and that's just for a press pass for any event, but like that's always the first step as far as building out deeper partnerships as well. And as time goes on, we've had some great relationships with media, local media and cannabis media in our different regions of operations. So yeah.
Fantastic. Now moving forward, I talked to Jason. He said that you all probably won't be doing it twice or multiple times a year moving forward. But next year, when are we looking at? Do you guys already know what dates, or is September? Is that going to be locked in? We should look forward. Chicago should look forward to September, the end of September being the lock-in day for Flower Expo.
Very likely every September. Yep.
Y'all heard it here, folks. Y'all heard it here first that September we gonna be looking at Flower Expo in the Midwest, so get ready. Um that being said, what is some of the things that you all been, kind of practicing with, learning through the years of doing this that you want to kind of roll out in the next year?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's, um, I mean, we've learned a lot over the past few years. It's been a very grassroots effort, kind of like just figuring out how to put these events together, and not that we didn't have experience before, but just like any new show, any new event, in this, especially in this industry, it's there's always a lot of improvisation and figuring things out. So I'm excited for going into future events because yeah, I think we've all learned a ton. There's certain technological things we may implement. There's certain things like for exhibitors like lead gen, things like that we're want to implement more as we go forward.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think just improving on what we've been doing, we've gotten a lot of things streamlined and yeah, I think it's feeling like it's starting to get put into practice now. Everything we've learned, so yeah.
And with
I,
that said, oh, go ahead, Jason.
You go first.
I was gonna say, with that said, I know that you guys have a nice sized team. Everybody's energizing things. When you come into a town, do you just already have all your team, volunteers, and everybody, or do you also outsource and give that particular state or that particular city rather a chance to people to apply for those particular days for employment and or volunteering?
Yeah, let me answer the last question first.
Okay.
And I would say part of what we do, and you know, the show's very community oriented. So, you know, the business community, the cannabis community, a lot of people go into the success of our show. So, you know, as show organizers, like I said, we can curate the vibe, we can make the place, and we can invite the people, but it's up to the people at the end of the day. There's a magic uh there's a magic that occurs while we're at the event that it's outside of our control. So I think what you'll see with the what we're hoping for the Chicago show, and the reason why we invest, you know, a ton of money and time into doing it, is because I definitely think that it has the potential to be a great show like what we do in Massachusetts. And um you know, that show has really taken on a life of its own. So I'm hoping the community shows out, and every year we see the parties get bigger and the community get larger and the brands get bigger, and we're all meeting up every September on a beautiful 2 days. Um, and then I guess to, you know, your next question, I would say we have a core crew. There's a lot of people we like to work with internally to do, you know, planning the event, and we sell the event obviously, and then we like the same people running our check-in and setting up our show. And then we do work with a lot of local people. I mean, anybody from security to people helping us clean the grounds to the venue to, you know, there's so many people we work with. Every time we do a show, it's a small army.
And that's what I definitely value, that you know you come into the town, give local people opportunity for employment. For the extent that you're here, that's definitely outreach and pushing that. So salute to that. Now I want to get into one of the employees in particular, Dab Cowgirl. You know, she is an interesting one. Definitely a ball of excitement. Very very knowledgeable on a lot of things. You know, how did she come into the fold? And what role does she play in the Flower Expo? Cause I see her all over.
Yeah, Dab Cowgirl was at our very first Flower Expo as an exhibitor, and then we built a relationship with her after the show, and she started helping us out. I'd say she's the life of our social media, and she's the chief bud tender acquisition person. So we send her around to a lot of shops, and I mean, I think her alone has she's probably seen almost every dispensary in Massachusetts, Michigan, and Illinois in the last 2 years. So
Yo, shout out Dab Cowgirl. We see you. Shout out. Um, I want to know, how long are you planning these events? Like how long in it? How far in advance are you planning them? Rather.
as long as we can. I mean, we like to sell a show usually as soon as the prior show is over. So, you know, I can tell you we're already selling for our Massachusetts event next year at this point, and Illinois. You know, we were selling right after our last show in March. So typically, it's about a year.
So everybody can get the information all on your website.
Yep.
Tickets can be bought there on the website and all of that stuff. Everything is pretty much streamlined to your website.
Yeah, that's right. You can find everything you need at theflowerexpo.com.
Yep.
And you know, moving forward, are we looking at, you know, more cities? Obviously, legalization is a big part to play in that whole thing. But moving forward, are we looking at another place that y'all going to plant the flag next year, or what's up?
Yeah, we're always looking at new markets. I mean, we love the current markets we're in, and I think we definitely want to work on refining our shows and making sure that they're, perfect, but or as perfect as they can be. But I would say if there are good markets that come up and there's opportunity, we like a lot of dispensaries, we like a lot of brands in the market, so there's a lot of movement, a lot of selling going on. We're definitely interested.
Now, did y'all try to do one, or are y'all thinking about Vegas?
I was born and raised in Vegas, but it's a tiny market. I mean, there's only so many stores and there's only so many brands. There's actually very good weed, but I'm not sure. Maybe.
And what about other places on the East Coast? I know y'all got Massachusetts locked down, but about New York, all up in there.
My dad's got a show in New York, so can't step on any toes with Hall of Flowers. But check them out, Hall of Flowers. They'll be there next month.
Look, I thought.
Year 36.
So, you mentioned your dad. So your dad, he's been in the business and he does shows as well.
That's right. Yeah, he is one of the owners of Hall of Flowers. They've done shows in California for probably 8 or 9 years, and now they're doing a New York show.
What's his name?
Eric.
Eric. Shout out Eric. Um, yeah, no. So you kind of came up in this then, and kind of seeing how he's been doing it for some years. Then, and was that obviously the springboard to you going out and doing it yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I got my first job at Hall of Flowers. Well, I guess my first cannabis job at Hall of Flowers, and then moved from there to working at another show called Green Street in LA. Lots of events at first, and then moved over to Source Cannabis, like I said, selling weed, and then launched this. But yeah, definitely all my experiences and working for my dad and trying out all those events in LA gave me some foundation for this.
Oh, dope, dope. And then Kai, tell us a little bit about your background too, prior to Flower Expo.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in the LA area, and I've just been out here my whole life, pretty much. And I guess my family background more entertainment industry. I've always had an interest in that too, but that almost led me to get more exposed to events in general, doing like just some photography, videography, social media here and there for certain events. And then in college, I helped start like a student organization focused on the cannabis industry. And of course, it was one of those things where I was like when I first joined, I was like, oh, just a place to smoke weed, and then I was like, oh, this industry is actually really interesting, and then that kind of led me to get that Source Cannabis job where I met Jason, and just kind of it all just kind of added together, and that club we were doing a lot of events and stuff as well, so it just all felt like a very natural transition through it all.
Oh, that's dope. I love when cohesions like that happen. So Jason kind of had the entrepreneurial and industry background, and then you came in with more of the marketing, production, film background, and y'all put it together. Oh, that's dope. So was it initially was it just you two, and then
Uh Pretty much. There was some other characters that helped start it,
Mhm.
but for the
then they
most
fell
part, yeah,
off, and then they fell off.
for one, then they fell. Sometimes you got to let people go. It happens.
Yeah, no, it definitely happens, and in this industry more often than most. But yeah, so Flower Expo, coming September 23rd and 24th. Are we planning for the next year for it to be 2 days as well? Are we thinking about expanding days, or 2 days is good enough?
2 days. We love 2 days.
He said 2 days. And then I don't know if I did ask this, but what was why was the 2 days better than the 1 day like you did the first time?
One day for just owner buyers to walk. You want it real small, at least in our opinion. You want it real small and focused, just so the brands get really good face time with those decision makers. And then day two, you kind of blow it out with a ton of bud tenders as well.
Mhm.
What was the final count on attendance for the last show here in Chicago?
It's
I
like
would say,
yeah, like 15 to 1800, something around there.
yeah,
Wow, Chicago, y'all came out.
Yeah.
Y'all
yep.
came out. And it was nice, for those who don't know, they had, a lot of other things going on. You got to talk with brands. They had games there. Like I said earlier, they had some panels there that you can get some education on. But one of the biggest things that I think was beneficial for anybody who want to be in the industry, or if you're already in the industry, is just it was a lot of networking going on. If you're in certain circles, you're gonna see some of the same people, but it's so many other people that you really wouldn't get a chance to see to this magnitude here in Chicago that I've seen. And I've been to a lot of events, but this event is definitely one where if you're trying to get in the industry and meet some of the movers, shakers, CEOs, and people that you really on a day to day couldn't get in contact with, even on LinkedIn, even if you was connected with them on LinkedIn, you really couldn't get. You're in front of them and you're able to talk to them. So, what with that said, what's some of the feedback that specifically you've been getting from the bud tenders, and do you have some platform where they can kind of give you the feedback from their perspective?
Yeah, we're always doing surveys after the show and keeping in touch with them. And we have people on our team who, call them and are emailing with them. So I would say we're usually getting very good feedback from them. But for the most part, I mean, I tend to think that they love us just because we're making sure they have a good time. That's all we're worried about. We just want them. We consider them the VIPs of the show. So we want to make sure they have free passes and come and have a great time. But I think you're always hearing minor things like brands they'd like to see come and uh, just little things about the experience. So we definitely love our bud tenders and love the feedback they're giving us.
Fantastic. And now I want to get into some of the stuff that some of the consumers and people who interested about going, just some of the fun stuff. Um, just tell us the process and being able to consume in places of these elegant environments that you go into with these shows.
It's all part of normalization. You got to be able to smoke wherever you want. I think that's we're in a better world when you can smoke weed in fun places, right?
And,
But I think that's part of it. That's like I said, create the vibe,
yeah.
invite the people. So if we can create a dope vibe for you to come and smoke, my hope is that it's you feel like you're having a unique experience you've never had before, or you're smoking at a nice fancy event, and that's the goal of it.
And of course, when creating that vibe, you gotta have great food. I know when we was there, you guys had a great taco vendor. Looking forward to the future ones. Are you guys piling on more vendors, more options? Let us know about that.
Yeah, we love the food. That's like a big part of our show always. In Massachusetts, we had something like 8 food trucks.
Yeah.
We just wrapped up our Detroit show last week that had something about similar, maybe like 8 options. So I'd say food is always a huge part of the Flower Expo. And yeah, I mean, Kai, if you want to first time drop the food list.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna have a coffee station on the inside and like a sort of like a salad bar, like cold food station on the outside. But then we're also gonna have 3 food trucks. There's a taco truck. There's be some barbecue, and it looks like some grilled cheese for the last one. So plenty of food options. So there's you ever get munchies throughout the day? There's all kinds of great food for sure.
Now, is it closed off, or how far ahead would a food vendor, if they're interested in, coming out and getting on that list, what would they have to do, and how far ahead would they have to contact you?
It depends. It's kind of honestly, it even depends with the venue and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would say you at least 4+ months ahead, and sometimes it's tricky depending on who we're working with. Sometimes the venue, they require a certain caterer or whatever like that. We get a little more leeway at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say Chicago's definitely locked away for this year. And then, but yeah, like our Massachusetts one, we have more leeway, so we always welcome food trucks applying, reaching out and see if we can fit them in somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the food is definitely, and having those great options is gonna be key because them lines be long, Jason. I ain't gonna lie. You be waiting on them tacos.
Yeah, that won't happen again. It was too busy. We couldn't help. We didn't realize Chicago was so lit.
Oh,
It's
it's
true.
the
They
second
showed up
city.
too hard.
We labeled the second city, even though we the third largest. We the second city.
Yep.
It's lit here. But and then you having something like this, people gonna come out.
Oh, we're ready for it this time. That's why we had to run it back. Most importantly, we had to make sure we did you guys right after last time. Those 90-minute lines and the all that waiting for food.
Absolutely. You forget you was hungry waiting on that food.
Yep. You'll
But
love it this time. Don't worry.
but looking at the whole thing, is this a long play? Will we be talking about Flower Expo 2045? Like will we be talking about it then? What's the deal with
Flower
that?
Expo is gonna run Chicago. We're the only game in town.
Oh, okay. That's so you putting your gloves in the ring right now. Y'all heard it here first.
Yeah, come
Flower
at us.
Flower Expo came to be big dog, not the little pup. Big
We,
dogs.
we accept competition, but we try. We want to be the best. We want to put on the best show. We want to be seen by the community as the best place to come and do business. That's our goal.
And tell us why y'all the best show in town.
You can smoke weed at it. You can have a good time, and we bring out all the buyers.
Yeah, I just add to the way I describe it is like there are shows that there are trade shows that maybe are bigger numerically. There are consumption events as well, that are usually smaller. But we try to kind of combine the best of both worlds, like have that business environment that's productive, you're getting deals done, and then also have this like fun festival type atmosphere where you can consume and just have a great time. And if anything, that tends to lead to the best business being done as well. They go hand in hand. And it's kind of an experience like no other. Having been to other events of all different sizes, I think it's a very unique experience for sure.
Dope, dope. Yeah, y'all gonna have to bring High Res out to Massachusetts and one of the other shows, so I could check it out. I watched the videos. I'm like, this looks insane, especially the fairground one. I'm like, this looks huge.
Yep.
Um, dope stuff, man. It's been so much of a pleasure. You dropped so many jewels. We hope to just continue to be doing great content with you all and growing and look to see where we are 5 years even from now and what's going on at that space to see the growth and elevation in you all. I salute y'all for even just the growth in 1 year and being able to put this show to this magnitude together for the community. But let us know, where the people can find you, where they can inquire more information at too, and if you got anything else to add on as well.
We're back like we're Jordan 96, 97. Visit us at www.theflowerexpo.com. Has all the info you need.
There you heard it there. Flowerexpo.com. Get all the information. Look at the other shows. Look at what city you in, or if you neighboring, get down there. You 21 and over. You gotta experience this. I'm telling you, it's definitely some. And just to reiterate again, like if you're trying to get your networking up, you're trying to get in the face of some of the CEOs, some bud tenders, ask them about career advancement. If you're trying to get in the industry and or do business with people, Flower Expo is definitely the spot you want to hit up, y'all. So check it out. Jason Bello, Kai Brady. You know what I mean? We got them on here to match our smoke, and they did just that. They matched our smoke. Let's give them another round of applause.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being a part of this show. We appreciate you. And yeah, no, y'all keep kicking ass and high res here to watch it and document some of it.
Yeah, we love your content. We can't wait to see you cover this show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks again. Y'all have an awesome weekend.
Thank you. Let us know if you need anything before showtime.
All right, will do. I will be in contact. I won't be a stranger.
All right, we'll see you there, man.
All right, then. Peace.
Later.
All right, there we go. Jason Bello, Kai Brady, Flower Expo, right here on Match My Smoke. Thank y'all for tuning in to another show. Peace.